Welcome to this football special with me, Peter Martin. Delighted to have your company. And our special guest on the programme is none other than former Celtic and Scotland defender, Jackie McNamara. I'm saying defender, but I know you've played more than a few positions over and above that, Jackie. Great to have you on the programme. Yeah. The first picture, I think, takes you back to Dunfermline. How much of a great grounding was it there for you getting ready to get a big move?
Yeah, it's an old picture, yeah. I'm actually older than what you probably think. I'm about 20 in that picture. Grounding wise, it was brilliant. You know, I had some great coaches and managers, down to earth, and players, senior players that I played under. You know, with guys like Paul Smith, Moisey, Billy Davis, you know, guys obviously done really well in the game and management as well.
How do you handle it as a youngster when you know there's a buzz, you know there's interest in you?
It's difficult, I'll not be honest. It's as it's to come to, you think you've got a chance of moving to a big club and how to deal with that. Fortunately, obviously, my father was a player, I could bounce off of him, but you still have that side that I could be playing at Celtic Park tomorrow, and I mean, obviously I knew there was interest and I had a first bid rejected, so it's difficult to deal with.
Yeah, 600,000 sounds like pennies now, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I think there's more than that, actually.
Oh, was it more?
It was 650 plus 50 for my first cap with Scotland, so that's what I get told anyway.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal, actually. And the man that signed you, was there an even greater incentive for you when you knew it was Celtic, it was Tommy Burns?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Fantastic man, fantastic manager, and learned so much from him. He was very passionate, everything to the best. Every day his standards were so high, but a really top human being as well, and I think he helped me so much on and off the park.
Yeah, were you aware at that time that obviously Tommy's going to sell you the vision, not too hard to sell, to be honest with you, but were you aware at that time that he was trying to build something against an incredible force in Rangers?
Yeah, right away I think when I came in, because I'd signed that day, and obviously we came up in the main stand, my dad, myself and Tommy, and he's shown us round obviously it's around the stadium, but it was the main stand, and it was just across the other side. I think the capacity was about 32 then, maybe 33, and he's saying this is going to be all full, it'll be 60,000, and obviously you could see what was going to happen to the club. And playing that night and seeing how he wanted to play and the style he wanted to play and his beliefs and what was the right way to do things, and you know, and I totally believe in everything he said and taught me, and I was fortunate enough to have a go at management myself and try to bring a lot of things from Tommy from that.
How much of an influence was your dad on you as a person and as a player?
Yeah, big. I think more as a person. I think my dad's, you know, as a player, he wouldn't really go into detail with games or say things after games. He'd just kind of let me get on with it. You know, and it was more how to deal with certain people. You know, he was very, very protective. I think he found it difficult getting into management. You know, and it's different when you're playing. You can do something about it. The management, you're relying on other players to do their jobs properly. Yeah,
and of course, I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I remember him playing in a Celtic strip, and he had a good career, a really good career at Hibs. Was there a moment as a youngster going in, you're thinking people are actually measuring the two of you up?
Yeah. I think. Well, I obviously grew up. It was mostly at Hibs when I see my dad, and I think like any kid, you think your dad's the best player in the world. Hibs fans used to sing his name, and obviously that's something I always wanted to have, but obviously you can't sing two McNamaras. But always wanted to have that buzz of going out there and playing and enjoying it, and you know, that was my dad was happy when he was playing football and he wasn't injured.
He'll kill you for that, let me tell you. You know that building a team, the end result has to be trying to win trophies. Tommy tried desperately to do that over a period of time. Scottish Cup is one thing, but the league title was the be-all and end-all. But I'm sure even Tommy and the players that he put together will look back on a period where many a Celtic fan would suggest that the football they were playing, especially you alongside Simon Donnelly, there was great links in that Celtic side at the time.
Yeah. I think he brought some fantastic players to the club, you know, Van Hooijdonk, Andy Toms, allied with the lads that were there, like McStay was, just coming to near the end of his career. So for me, coming into that, and I settled in right away. I played that game at Falkirk, my debut that night, and it let me get into the team and stay in the team. I think Tommy was surprised by how quickly I adapted to that, but to be honest, I never really thought about it. I just kind of got on with it. But the football he played was no surprise to us because we worked on it. We worked on it in training. We took it into the match on the Saturday.
Yeah. What were the guys like then? I mean, were there a few? I mean, I know a few stories of some of the individuals, but what were they like actually mixing with them?
The different characters, and like coming from Dunfermline and dealing with big characters in the game. Paul, like you say, probably was, the one you look up to the most at the time. He was quiet, but he led the game by example. He could control the match. Granty was more a laugh and a joke and point at. It wasn't just pointing on the pitch, but he would point in the dressing room and laugh and stuff at people. The first morning I came in and had little Power Rangers on my space in the morning, and I thought I was a young kid. But no, some good characters, and you had Fine Hoydonks to Canyo when he came as well, which was an experience dealing with him every morning.
Well, I was going to say to you, I mean, you get to a situation where you're dealing with people who you've grown up with who may well have, the same cultural background as you. Suddenly you've got a George Cadet, a Van Hooijdonk, a Di Canio, and all three of them had something that wee bit special.
They did. And I think until you actually play with them and you see them every day in training and you see them in the matches, how the qualities that they have, and I think, to be honest, I think that took us with them, in terms of the quality. When you're playing with better players, it makes you better. If you got the ball in the right back area, if Simon wasn't on, I could just put one around the corner to Big Pierre's feet and it would stick, or a free kick in front of goal. It was in the back of the net. The ability these guys had was just incredible.
I know you like a laugh. I always feel as if you were somebody who liked to laugh but was level-headed. What was Di Canio like? Did you ever sit in the dressing room and think, really?
He was crazy. He was crazy. He'd come up every morning. He's just got up to the mirror, and his gear, which we thought was horrendous, but he thought it was great. But he was just... But I have to say, when he was trained, he was... he was serious, and he trained. He gave everything he had in the matches. He gave everything. I'll say that about him. When we were off the training field, he was a laugh and a joke, and a bit of a poser. But on the training field in the matches, he was probably one of the hardest trainers. Yeah.
From Tommy Burns, tell me your perceptions of Wim Jansen.
Wim came over to Holland, and everything. It was just a different thing altogether. You didn't. With Tommy, you knew. Where you stood a training session, you made a bad pass in training, it'd be on you. Vim, even in the matches, you wouldn't know. He was very guarded with everything he gave out, information. So he was always testing people. There's times there on the Friday, he would put a team out against another team, which you would think was maybe the starting 11, but it wasn't. But he was always testing to see reaction. And I found myself in the team that wasn't, perceived to be the starting 11 on the Saturday, and I never really changed how I went about it. But other lads maybe go through it and they'd throw the dummy out. I think they weren't playing the next day, and they would show him that their attitude wasn't right. And he was clever. I really liked him. He's calm after matches. He wouldn't go into much detail with the emotion after matches. Wait till the Monday, or just like nothing said. But we were successful. That season, it was a massive season for us. Yeah,
I was going to say that. I mean, the season itself, what does it mean to be part of that team that stopped 10 in a row?
It was, you look at it now, it's, I think even after the start, the first two games, I don't think anybody was given a chance, losing to Hibs, then at home to Dunfermline. But the way we turned it around, I think the European games helped. But you hear so many stories throughout that season, with, obviously what happened to Darren Jackson and different other things, Tommy Johnson, a bad injury. It kind of, even the fight with Henrik, with Tosh, there's a lot of things that kind of brought us all together. We lost the game at Rangers, Richard Goff's punching the air and 10 in a row. So there was so many things that brought us. I think the turning point was obviously winning the League Cup as well. That gave us that momentum with the fans. It was my first trophy we won, then went on to beat them in January, then went on to win the league. But it was a tough season.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you talk about people fighting, and that goes on in training grounds. I mean, what's going through your head? I know, Tosh. I mean, he's one of those guys. He's immaculate. He doesn't look as if he's the type of guy to lose the head, but of all people to lose the head with Henrik.
I know, one of Celtic's all-time players, but there was a wee bit of needle to start. I think because, like I said, with the communication, Vim didn't give a lot away, and so there's some boys maybe felt they were left out, and a few wee tussles happened a couple of times, and that just kind of, the day before the All Firm game as well, it set the tone for the rest of the season. But it's obviously something back Tosh will be proud. He wasn't proud of, and he stated that, but it definitely brought the rest of us together.
I was going to say, you picked up on a point. You mentioned the League Cup, but you also mentioned the game. And I think it was a significant game because I can remember being in the press box at the time where there was a sense in that main stand that finally psychologically, not only was the team good on the park, but psychologically you could take Rangers. I'm talking, of course, about Paul Lambert, scores the goal, 2-0 on the 2nd of January, and the whole place goes crazy.
Yeah, it was a great feeling that. Obviously, even back to that game, the amount of saves that Andy Gorham had, he had so many fantastic saves over the last number of years against us in no firm games. And that game alone, he had 2 or 3 brilliant saves. One couple in the first half, he'd won in the second half.
He had one from Darren Jackson, I seem to remember. Right. It was a cracker.
Yeah, and the one off the post. I think Henrik hit the post. And obviously, Burley made it 1-0, and then Lambo scored a screamer to settle the match and win the match, and that psychologically that was massive for us, because had we lost that, it would have been difficult to claw it back mentally.
Yeah. And the momentum just carried you through, as you mentioned. There was a real belief in the side. Suddenly, you get to Dunfermline, though. The one guy's name that sticks in my head forever and a day is Craig Falconbridge.
I know. He would have been a lot more famous if we hadn't won the league the week before. The week after. It was. We thought of the game. Everybody was ready to celebrate, and he's coupled with that loopy header. I still think Goldie should have saved it myself, but in a way it was fitting to win it back home at Celtic Park. In front of our own fans, and it was a special day. Yeah.
What were your memories? Was there a nervousness? Because there was that kind of yes, it was people hoping that you could win it on the day, but there was a sensed tension as well.
I think the nerves started from the Dunfermline game, to be honest. The whole week, the build-up, because the pressure that was on us was incredible. Henrik scored the first goal and settled us all down, but really needed that second. I think Georgia Boyle had a good chance. He hit over the bar. We had a few other chances to score, but as the longer it went on, just one little thing could change. As obviously I've experienced later on in my career at Celtic. But when Harold scored that, you knew that was it. We knew we'd won it, and just the feeling, not just there with the fans and celebrating, we knew we'd won it and stopped at 10.
Yeah, he came in like a steam train as well. Harold was one of those guys, if the ball was ahead of him, there was a good chance it was going in the net. I don't think he liked the ball with his back to goal.
No, it wasn't his forte. But I think Harold wasn't your normal footballer. He came back. I think he's a commercial pilot now.
Yeah.
But you're a really nice lad. A lot of times you're like, what's happening here? It's the pressure and everything else. But I was delighted for him to eventually score the winning goal and just to seal it.
Yeah. What was it like that day and the celebrations afterwards?
It was good, yeah. Went back up to the restaurant after it, and we were up in the early hours, and the next day we had to fly to Lisbon to play Sporting Lisbon as a game for George Cadet, and I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I didn't play in the match. I sat in the bus because I was still feeling my knee, and we still celebrated into the next few days.
Strangely enough, everybody talks about the collective of the team and what they achieved that year. I mean, I make no bones about telling you, we found this photograph and I thought, now there is an absolute cracker of you winning the Player of the Year. Obviously, there's you've got the kilt and everything, but that must have been the ultimate for you.
It was, yeah. It said, I think, you look back, you don't, again, at the time, you don't think too much of it, but you look back in it, and obviously you look at the standard of play that was in the league at that point. You know, the Gascoignes, Laudrups, Larsons. You know, there's so many good players. You know, for me, it was obviously when you finish your career, you kind of look back and obviously really proud of what I've achieved.
Yeah. At that point, I'm looking at Jackie McNamara and thinking, you're a regular in the side. I can remember, I don't know if you can remember this, I can remember doing an interview with you for STV, and you said to me, I'll pick you up. And you picked me up in an old battered Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, still got
it. But there wasn't the sense, there wasn't a gulf, I think. You know, sometimes there's, you know, teams and earnings and players can become distant. I very much thought at that point you were the club still had that touch, that feeling with the fans as well. They still absolutely do, but to a greater extent.
I think it's obviously everything's changed now, and there's pressure out there for the lads to have the best, and you know, everybody looks up to them. They're like movie stars now. It's totally different, but I think we were always grounded, and you know, even at that point, winning the league, and it didn't really change us. It was just doing our jobs.
Tough question. Was that the best you've played? Were you at the top of your game there? I know you won the Player of the Year again, but was that the best period for you?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. I mean, I'd played more advanced that season, and I kind of freedom on the right hand side. But again, I had to really invent myself with him, because at the start of the season, I was trying to do what I'd done before and get forward for the fullback, and he didn't want his fullbacks getting forward. He wanted them to stay in position. So I found myself at the team. Then I got back in. Then I played wing back. I scored against Liverpool. But again, I enjoyed that season, but I never played that position again.
Yeah.
I never played right midfield, right wing again for Celtic. Even when Dr. Joe came in, you know, I had problems after that season. That season I played quite a number of games through an injury, through my knee injury, and it came on after the World Cup again, and 2 operations when Dr. Joe came in my knee, and I had a real bad time of it. But I'd never played right wing again or right midfield.
You're talking about reinventing yourself. How difficult was it to try and re-establish yourself when Martin O'Neill arrives?
It was okay at the start. You know, I was in at the start. I was playing wing back. We beat Rangers 6-2 in a few other games. I was in his team every week, and I get injured away at San Marino with Scotland, and I missed a game on the Saturday, and Martin tried Didier Agat in the wing back area. I thought, oh no, I might not get back in there, because I can't run like him. And I found it difficult to get back in, and the team was winning and with momentum. I came in the odd games and done well, but found myself back out. Even the European game, we played away in Ajax, and I played midfield that night, and we won 3-1 in Ajax. And I thought I played well, and he came up to me after the game, "You're excellent, son." And the Saturday after, we were playing at home, and I wasn't even on the bench. So mentally, you know, I was like, right, you know, I have to deal with this. And then I waited a few games to get a game. He put me in defensive midfield in front of Lenny. Against Dundee United, I scored. I was man of the match. Next game, I'm leaving on the bench again. So I was like, what do I need to do? And I was going to see him, and it was just being patient and just getting my head down rather than spitting a dummy out.
Yeah.
You know, just trying to, and eventually to win him over again.
What was he like to chap the door and say, listen, you know, Gaffer, I'm winning man of the matches here?
He wasn't one of the characters. He was quite, I wouldn't say aloof's the right word, but he was, when I spoke to him then, he was like, you know, it was up to Robbo and Wally, because Martin, he didn't go to training every day. He would come up certain times of training, obviously a Friday before the game he'd be there, maybe a Tuesday, you know, and so other days he would come up, so they were with you all the time. And they said it was up to Robbo and Wally, you'd be playing every week. And that's what he said to me at the point. He said, look, you're in my plans, son. You know, I want you to stay. I don't want you to go anywhere. I said, I just want to play. I don't want to hang around here if I'm not involved. You know, as much as I love it here, but I need to play. He went, no, you'll play. And I just stayed patient. And I think he'd lost a few old firm games with Rangers playing a 4-3-3 system. And we'd be playing at the 3 at the back at that point. It was the first time he changed it. Was after Boa Vista at Ibrox on that Sunday, and he went back put me back to full back. We won. He put me captain, and then I found myself back in the team again.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the various games that you proved to him. I mean, it doesn't get any better than a Scottish Cup final. You're man of the match against Hibs.
Yeah, but as I say, when you step back for it and you look at it, it's obviously, as I say, I've had a short management myself, but he's paid $6 million for Lenny.
Yeah.
You know, $6 million for him. It's you know, there's somebody already been there, so there's so many things come into it. You know, and like from my point of view, you look at the time, you just think about yourself and your career and playing every week. But from the manager's point of view, he's like, well, I need to justify the board. I've just spent $6 million. If I'm going to play him in front of him, you know, why did you need to do that? Or so for me, it was trying to find a position that you hadn't paid a right position. But and obviously a gap came in. You can't argue how he done.
Yeah.
You know, the team, and we got to Seville and all the rest of it. And
did you feel part of that Seville run? Did you feel part of the team? Yeah,
absolutely. Because I'd played a number of games, and you know, Stuttgart, I was left centre half. Yeah. Against Stuttgart at home, against Irani. There's a lot of games I played. Celtic Vigo away, and yeah, I was part of it. You know, I think the biggest thing is trust, and he trusted me to go in. You know, even Liverpool away, I came on. You know.
Tell me about that picture, because that's the dejection of the final. You're on. You've played in that game as well. Gut wrenching.
It was, yeah. It was disappointing. I think because we could see it, it was there for us. You know, I think the turning point, I think everybody would agree, was with Bobo getting sent off. Yeah. You know, I came on for Paul Lambert in the game, and Martin asked us to go and try and man Mark Deco at the game, which I thought I did okay at that to start with, although my first touch I nearly set them up for a goal, which would have killed my career.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I thought, you know, I thought we came to grips with them, and we're getting in the system. We'd lost a couple of bad goals, but at that point I thought we were on top. And we'll get the slid in and get the second yellow, which again is difficult enough. Then you got an extra time with a man down, and it was disappointing. Is
it your biggest regret in football?
I say regret. I think it's disappointing. It's up there, aye, because that's a life changer. You know, you see the guys just now. I was up at the game last week in Clarkie and seen them last year at the reunion, 50 years, and it's just incredible what the guy's done, you know, and it'd been good for us, our own little bit of history. Well, I've got bits of history getting there, and the fans, and always remember it, but, you know, it is all about winning.
Yeah. I thought after that, though, going into 2003, 2004, again, this was Jackie McNamara establishing himself as a regular. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think the trust was there with Martin, and as I said, I was the captain that season. You know, it was a good side. We had something to prove. We put so much into the European campaign before getting the final, and to lose it the way we did in the last day again was disappointing. But I say there's certainly things can trigger things in your career, and that was a season that I enjoyed football wise.
Yeah, and of course, yet again, another Player of the Year.
Yeah, the sports writers. Yeah, again, there was some great candidates that year in our team. Big characters as Sutton's, Henrik's last season, you know, and for me personally, obviously, for what I'd been through the last few years, to bounce back from that and be Martin's captain and the team that won the league that year, it was great. Yeah,
we all know how the Celtic career ended. You should have stayed. Didn't quite work out in the negotiations on it. When you look back on it, is it a tremendous sense of pride at, first of all, pulling the jersey on and all those great moments that you sampled?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I think when people have their career and go, geez, I was there 10 years, it's a long time, you know. It's for anybody, and you think of the transition over that decade, to be there that long. I had planned to try and finish my career there, but obviously if Martin had stayed, I think I would have been all right. Gordon coming in, it's different dynamics, and everything kind of changed. You know, I hadn't tried to move anywhere. Obviously my testimonial, people look at that, but mentally I had prepared myself to try and finish my career there. Gordon had his own players he wanted to bring in, and it was disappointing the way it finished for me, but I think people that know me and knew I hadn't tried to do it. I tried to finish my career at Celtic, but you say regrets. It's not regret because it wasn't really my decision really to do that. Yeah. You know, I'd planned to do and spend most of my career there, and loved it.
And the last point, probably a fitting one, with the fans in mind, you have a testimonial against the Republic of Ireland. So many people, down through the years, Bobby Lennox, a Jimmy Johnson, a Paul McStay, a Peter Grant, they've all talked about how indebted they are to Celtic fans who come out to show their appreciation. I mean, what did it mean to you to see them all out there to say thank you?
Yeah, it was incredible. I think even, as I said, with the Scottish Cup final week before, we lost the league to Rangers the week before. But to see that many turn out, as I said, that when you're obviously like myself and you look at your career and you're not sure how you're held with the Celtic fans. You're not a big name, you're not a big signing, you're not the wee guy that came from Dunfermline. So, as I said, for me to be there 10 years and to see the people turn out for you, it's just, for me, it was so unbelievable and humbling.
Yep. Jackie, it's been an absolute joy having a chat with you. I feel as if I lived every minute of it from the minute you signed to the minute you said farewell. Great to have Jackie McNamara on this football special. Hopefully you enjoyed a trip down memory lane through his Celtic years. Thanks for watching. Welcome to PLZ Soccer. Why not join the football family and download the PLZ app? You'll get all the latest Scottish football news and up-to-date news on English and world football. There's also a feature here where you can record yourself talking about your favourite team. If we use the video, you could feature on our football show. For all the latest news in Scottish football, download the PLZ Soccer app in the App Store and in Google Play. Come and join the football family on PLZ Soccer.